This first photo, whoever got a hold of this leak pretty much is showing the Pixel 5 in its wallpaper glory. You can see the blockiness and all the shapes that Pixel likes to do on their phones. See the number 5 here. Notice there's no date, and I don't know why they removed the date. Usually when they put a date on their Pixel phones, it's usually when they release it. So maybe that's why it's been removed, because here you just see the weather instead of the date and the weather. So remember, on September 30th, we're going to get an announcement for the Pixel 4a 5G. The Pixel 5, it looks like a new Chromecast, possible new smart speaker, and maybe something about Android TV. This isn't new. We knew that it was going to be coming with the Snap 765G processor, but this looks a little different, saying it's going to come with an integrated X52 modem for 5G, but it'll only support sub 6 gigahertz 5G. Or the way this article goes is they're surprised given that Verizon, which has historically sold Google's flagship smartphones, requires millimeter wave 5G support for its network. Although it's possible that, similar to other recent Android phones, there are plans for a unique Verizon exclusive variant with the extra support. What this article is saying is that the Pixel 5 leak that they have is showing that it does support 5G, but it's not supporting 5G for Verizon, the millimeter wave. Does it matter to me? No, because I use T-Mobile. I couldn't care less if it had millimeter wave or not. But what I wanted was all 5G support on the Pixel 5 altogether. Sub 6 gigahertz, mid-band 2.5G, millimeter wave. So it'll cover Verizon, T-Mobile, AT&T, your mom's carrier, your dad's carrier. So there wouldn't be confusion about, well, which one should I buy? Oh, I have Verizon. I want millimeter wave. Do I need to go to the Verizon store and buy their special unique one that they charge an extra $100 for, that they add some bloatware on it, that they add 18 of our Verizon logos on it? Is that the one I should buy? No, don't buy that one. Hopefully that's not the case. Hopefully that isn't the case. I have another article that says that maybe this particular Pixel 5 was built this way because it was made for Europe and not the States. So let's hope that's the case here. I don't think this was surprising either. I think we all knew it was going to have a 90 hertz refresh rate. I think some people were hoping for 120, but I'll take 90. That's fine. It's going to have a 6-inch screen, which is going to be about the same form factor as my Pixel 4a, which I'm really looking forward to because I love this form factor. I think this form factor is great for a one-handed phone. For people who enjoy small form factors, I think you can't go wrong with it. Google appears to have shrunken down the chin on the bottom of the display too for a uniform bezel around the display. So not only are you going to get a small form factor like the 4a, but there's going to be less bezel. It's going to be more symmetrical. I think it's going to be badass. If you ask me, I think it's going to be a great form factor, a full screen display on the front. I'm happy to see the 4a 5G and the Pixel 5 to have that rear fingerprint reader. Google is apparently sticking with a standard rear mounted option, although WinFuture doesn't have any pictures of the back of the device to share yet. Hopefully it does come with that rear fingerprint reader. I'm pretty sure it will. Rounding out the specs are 8 gigs of RAM, 128 gigs of internal storage, a 4080 milliamp hour battery, IP68 dust and water resistance, and 18-watt USB-C fast charging. It's going to be a small form factor like the Pixel 4a. It's going to have a rear fingerprint reader. It's going to have a full display on the front, and even fuller display, right? An even fuller display, less bezel, and the fact that it's going to have more RAM. So we're going to get a faster processor, a 765G chipset over a 730. It's going to have 8 gigs of RAM instead of 6. And then it's going to have a gigantic, I won't say gigantic, it's going to have a big battery. This Pixel 4a has a 3100 milliamp hour battery, right? And the Pixel 5 is going to have 4000 in the same form factor, which is going to be great. I already get tremendous battery life out of my Pixel 4a, 5.5 to 6 hours of screen on time, over a day off the charger, between 24, 36 hours or so. I would assume, even though the Pixel 5 is going to have a 90 hertz refresh rate and a bit of a stronger chipset, it's going to have a much bigger battery. And I would imagine that I'm also going to get around 5.5 to 6 hours of screen on time on the Pixel 5, maybe even more, which would be great. I would love to see that, but we'll see. The wide angle now has a 107-degree field of view, while the main camera now shoots at 77 degrees. The Pixel 5 will have a wide angle and it'll have a main shooter. This wide angle is saying it has 107 degrees field of view. I think the iPhone 11 Pro or the iPhone 11, I think their field of view is 120, if I remember correctly, or 122. I think it's around 120 degrees. So the iPhone is going to have a little bit of a wider field of view. And it's saying here the main camera now shoots at 77 degrees. But when I looked at the specs of that as well, I think the Pixel 4 shoots at 77 degrees. I think the Pixel 4a shoots at 77 degrees. In terms of colors, we see the black model that Google has officially teased. The lock button looks metallic and is black with no splash of color. So this is kind of disappointing for me. I wanted a splash of color. Even if I'm just going to get black, I don't want black on black. I wanted black on something else. White, yellow, orange, magenta, crimson, turquoise. What's that one color? Chartreuse. That was the one I was thinking of. I wanted a splash of color. I think that's what Google's known for. I hope they're not using the Pixel 5 as their premium device and keeping everything one solid color, because then that's just more a la Apple. Retailers yesterday confirmed a green variant is coming. That is the one that I want. When pre-orders come for this, I'm going to order, I've told this to chat many times. I'm going to order the 4A 5G and I'm also going to order the 5, but I will order every variant so that I get whatever color first. I want the green one. Hopefully the green one is going to be the one that comes to me first. I'm guessing that the US version is going to cost $650 US. That is my guess, but that's not really a guess. That's what we've been hearing about. There have been rumors that it's going to cost $700. I don't want it to cost $700, especially if these are the specs that we're going to get with it. I don't think it's worth it, but I'm going to buy it anyway. $650, I think, is the price point I would be okay with. But if this phone really wants to compete, especially with this iPhone 12 mini that's coming out, I would love to see this phone get priced at $599. I don't think it's going to happen, but if they price this phone at $599, I think it would be a hit. I think it would be a great price. I think it would be a fair price.